Christian, Executive Director of Patriot for Advancement of Peace and Social Development. It joins us virtually. And in the second half of the program will center a focus on 2027 elections and a call for inclusive and selfless leadership. My guest for that conversation is Sam Kwagwu, SAN, a lawyer and political affairs analyst. But first, let's bring you some political developments. We start off in the education sector. The federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities have signed a new agreement aimed at ending years of industrial disputes and restoring stability to Nigeria's public universities. The agreement was formalized earlier today in Abuja. Maya Mohammed reports.
For more than a decade, Nigeria's public universities have been caught in a circle of strikes and shutdowns. Between 2009 and 2025, ASU embarked on about 18 nationwide strikes, most of them linked to the non-implementation of the 2009 agreement with government. The longest was 9 months shut down in 2020. Other major strikes in 2010, 2013 and 2022 forced universities to close repeatedly, disrupting academic calendars and costing students more than 4 full academic years. While student groups like National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) have often backed ASU's demands, many students say the prolonged closures have taken a heavy toll on their education and future plans.
Congratulations and with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we're very grateful as a nation today.
At today's signing, the Minister of Education, Maruf Tunji Alausa, described the agreement as a turning point for Nigeria's tertiary education sector. He praised ASU's leadership for embracing dialogue and said the deal supports President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda with emphasis on uninterrupted academic calendars and improved lecturer welfare.
This agreement, we're making promise to you today, this agreement will be effective from January 1st, and was effective from January 1st, 2026. The key components include the emolument of university academic staff, which has been reviewed upward by 40% to enhance the morale, improve the quality of service delivery, and the global competitiveness of Nigeria tertiary education institution, and also to reverse brain drain. With regards to the hand academic allowances, these allowances, 9 in numbers, are now clearly structured, transparently earned, and strictly tied to duties performed, thereby promoting productivity, accountability, and fairness.
ASU President Professor Chris Piuna said the agreement revisits long-standing unresolved issues dating back to 2009. He commended the reconstituted Yayale Ahmed Committee and the Education Ministry for driving the renegotiation, but noted that some concerns remain. These include government interference in universities' governance, poor research funding, and accountability in universities' management.
The 2025 renegotiated agreement is the outcome of a prolonged renegotiation that was initiated, like Senator Tejeshu said, in 2017 to review the 2009 agreement, and which was to revitalize the Nigerian university system. Our union also wants to specially appreciate the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Maruf Alausa, for his steadfast support and encouragement to get us to this point. We often disagreed with the minister, but he's an open-minded person, and he always takes arguments that he thinks are strong and can stand.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Professor Mohammed Dingyadi, urged both sides to sustain industrial harmony, stressing that dialogue remains most effective tool for resolving disputes.
Other ministries, departments and agencies to emulate this approach by painstakingly engaging their workers, their employers, understanding their legitimate concerns and resolving disputes amicably rather than allowing them to fester and complicate the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment's coalition efforts.
Lawmakers also weighed in, calling on government and ASU to honor the agreement with transparency and good faith. Stakeholders say if fully implemented, the agreement could finally deliver the stability Nigeria's public universities have been long searching for. With commitments now on paper, attention turns to implementation as students, parents and lecturers look forward to a more stable and predictable university system across the country. Mariam Mohammed, TVC News, Abuja.
Let's go to River State, where the Council of Traditional Rulers has set up a 9-man committee to mediate in the political crisis in the state. The committee, led by Swanu Baradun as chairman and Duwanchuku Nam Obi as co-chairman, is expected to meet with stakeholders in order to chart a way forward and bring about lasting peace. The Council of Traditional Rulers, in a statement by its chairman, Chike Woluwodo, appealed to all factions and the public to tone down the rhetorics in order to de-escalate the tense situation. They appealed to citizens to refrain from acts likely to cause a breach of the peace in the state. We'll take a break, everyone, and when we return, we'll get into a conversation for tonight. Please stay with us.
I write to request the kind approval of the National Assembly.
Behind every decision, every vote,
the ayes have it,
and every heated debate lies the heartbeat of democracy.
This matter is very, very important.
I therefore rule you out of order.
Welcome to the place where it all unfolds. Every week, I take you inside the inner workings of the assembly, where laws are shaped, decisions are made, and the future of the nation is decided.
The ayes have it.
Join me, Tijesu Adeoye, and other seasoned experts, analysts, and lawmakers at the National Assembly as they uncover the real stories behind the headlines and offer unfiltered insight on the most pressing issues of the day. This is your front row seat to the heart of power. Watch the Hallowed Chambers every Saturday at 9 p.m. only on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us, everyone. Let's talk security matters. In a significant development, the United States has delivered military supplies to Nigerian security agencies to support ongoing operations across the country. This move is aimed at boosting the capacity of our security forces in addressing the growing security challenges. Tonight, to help us break down what this means for Nigeria and the impact it could have on national security, we have with us tonight politician, executive director, Patriots for Advancement of Peace and Social Development, Dr. Abdullahi Sani Kafi. Good evening to you, Dr. Abdullahi. Thank you very much for joining us on Politics Tonight. It's good to see you again.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we start off the year with security matters. I mean, good to see you again because we ended the year with same conversation. As announced by AFRICOM on Tuesday, that's the United States Africa Command. For the sake of our younger audience, the U.S. Africa Command is a unified combatant command of the U.S. Department of Defense, responsible for U.S. military operations, security cooperation, promoting stability across Africa, excluding Egypt. What do we have here, Dr. Shinkafi? First, we're looking at an ongoing defense collaboration between the U.S. and our own country, Nigeria, training, logistics, intelligence support, all aimed at boosting Nigeria's counterterrorism and stability operations. What does this mean to you?
November last year, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, led a delegation of security officials to Pentagon in the United States of America to discuss with the military engagement between Nigeria and United States of America, following the regionalization of Nigeria as country of particular concern, CPC, by United States of America, where there's an allegation of Christian genocide. So, but with the collaboration and the military engagement between the two countries, I think we are good to go. Because the issue of militancy, issue of Boko Haram, issue of terrorism have been bedeviling Nigeria for many decades. And up to today, there is no any solution. Of all the the amount of money or funds allocated for security and intelligence or security and defense in the national budget. It has not changed the narrative. So what we have for security and intelligence or security and defense in the national budget, it has not changed the narrative. So
all right. Dr. Shinkafi, you know, since this announcement yesterday, conversations about transparency and accountability have been rife. And from all indications, you cannot fault Nigerians for bringing this to life again. But then from your own perspectives, how can citizens be assured that these supplies will be used responsibly and not mismanaged? I mean, these concerns are very valid, if you ask me. And then what mechanisms should be on ground to, you know, ensure that the deployment of these resources measure their impact?
Yeah, you see, the receipt of the consignment of the military equipment and gadgets through the United States African Command is a welcome development. It means that the visit by the National Security Advisor, which he led the security officials to Washington or to Pentagon, it has yielded a tremendous results. But the problem, it is underutilization or misuse of these arms and ammunition or military equipment because of the high level of corruption within the security apparatus. There was a reported cases where some military officers in the Northeast, that is in the Northeast, even in Zamfara State where I come from, are selling these arms and ammunition to criminal, armed bandits and terrorists. So that should be a proper check and balances of how these arms and ammunition are being disbursed to the security official. There should be a proper record, proper inventory on daily basis and on monthly basis to make sure that each and every arms and ammunition which are being disbursed to this security are being accounted for. Because a lot of resources are being wasted, funds are being wasted, but the issue of this insecurity is at the gallows persistently increasing in Nigeria.
Right.
So it is welcome development, and we welcome it, and many Nigerians have welcomed the idea. But the only fear we have is underutilization or misuse of this military equipment because of the high level of corruption and recklessness.
Right. I get that. And, you know, while we welcome this idea, there are other concerns, one of which is, you know, relying on foreign military aid. And some stakeholders say this can, you know, risk creating dependency. So I would like to ask you, how sustainable is this approach in the long term?
You see the issue of over dependence in the military support from the foreign country. It is not good for the country because we have DICOM, which is being established for more than 6 decades. And the reason for establishing a DICOM is to manufacture locally military equipment in the country. So if the DICOM had not been properly managed and we are dependent on the foreign military aid, I think it is not encouraging. So this should be in a short term, not on long-term reliance on the military support from the foreign country. We have to use our little resources and also the human capital development to see how we can develop our military equipment and military hardwares to curtail the security challenges in the country. Because of our dependence in this military equipment, it can also make the other foreign country to monopolize the market in Nigeria.
Thank you for going there, Dr. Shinkafi, because you know, I asked that question because, I mean, for instance, the Sokoto airstrike military operation does not look like a one-time operation, especially with this with this renewed commitment between both countries. And former Senator Shehu Sani is warning us against external dependence. He has, on his own part, he's expressed his concerns about over-reliance on foreign power. Tonight, you've validated that concern. I mean, he's also charging the federal government to ensure, or rather take responsibility for internal security. And there are Nigerians who are also concerned that economic dependence on foreign powers would translate into national security threats. From your experience, is this possible? Should Nigerians be bothered? Can economic pressure be used as a security weapon against Nigeria?
Yeah, you see, the economic dependence on the foreign country, it kills the local industries. So the local industry will be out of production, and also over dependence in the local industry, in the foreign industries, it kills also the investment. So there will be overstretching of people. There will be increase in the higher rate of poverty, unemployment, and low production. And if Nigeria will squarely produce some of these military hardware, military equipment, it will create employment, it will increase the investment and production, and it will increase the personal income per capita. But the airstrike in Sokoto, mostly in Jabo, it is misplacement of priority, and there was no proper security intelligence gathering and intelligence sharing. Because in Jabo precisely, there's no report of armed bandit or terrorists or ISWAP. But in Tangaza, in Sokoto East, in Tangaza, Gidan Madi, Binji, Goronyo, Sabon Birni, Isa, Gada, Ilela, there's all report of this armed banditry and Lakurawa who have been terrorizing people, kidnapping Poransa, and killing innocent lives, and the displacement of people from their state home, and also denied the rural communities from having access to their farmland and their communities. So these are the area which should be, there should be a proper intelligence gathering and intelligence sharing before taking any military action in any side. There should be a proper coordinate, geographical coordinate of this armed bandit or terrorists where they are hiding. There should be a proper remote sensing, remote mapping to make sure that these bandits are properly located so that there should not be a collateral damage.
Let's stay on this, Dr. Shinkafi, also because you're from Zamfara State, a state they call the headquarters of banditry in Nigeria. You know, the last operation happened in Sokoto State, and to date, we still have local residents questioning whether any militants were hit. I mean, we had informed Nigerians asking why Sokoto State, and we also heard locals, this is according to reports, saying, oh, there are no ISIS members here. Why is this happening in our state? I want to ask you this evening, how do airstrikes affect local population's perception of the government and the military? Could they unintentionally increase local support for insurgents?
Yeah, you see, the airstrike in Sokoto, precisely in Jabo village, is in Tambo local government and is not far from Zamfara State. So there was no any report of camp of Lakurawa or Iswap or Yaramalan in that Jabo village precisely. But there is a IDP camp in Jabo where some of the people who have been displaced by this armed bandit come in Jabo. But in Sokoto East, as I have said, in Tangaza, precisely in Tangaza, in Jigidamadi and Kepe, there is camp of Lakurawa, that's the armed bandit, whom not armed bandit, the terrorists who are segment of ISIS and ISIS and ISWAP, who migrated through the desert from Mali, from Senegal, Mali to Burkina Faso to Niger Republic. And those local governments share border with Niger Republic in Sokoto State. And part of Ibn Shinkapi in Zamfara State, Zulmi, share border with Niger Republic. So there was, as I said earlier, the attack or the airstrike in Jabo it was God who saved the situation. If the bomb have targeted the innocent people, the locals, it is going to be disastrous because the target hit near a primary health care. Primary health care. And the villagers came and they were even carrying the remnants of these bombs. They want to take it to this, so this, what do you call it, those scambages. So these are some of the danger. So there should be a proper intelligence gathering, proper intelligence sharing, and also there should be a proper strike where these locals, where these bandits or ISWAP are hiding. Really, Zamfara is the epicenter of banditry in Nigeria, but there is no proper report of Lakurawa or ISWAP or ISIS. But the main problem we're facing for over 1.5 decades is the activities of this armed bandit. And since Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared this armed bandit as terrorists, the government should go totally on the military action against them. So I have never mind idea of negotiation.
If that's the situation, Dr. Shinkafi, how important is it to reassure the public that counterterrorism operations are targeted at criminal and terrorist elements who threaten our collective safety and not at innocent civilians who are themselves victims of insecurity?
Yeah, if there is a synergy between the security apparatus, that is between the intelligence gathering securities and also the action agencies, DSS and other NIA, DIA, CIB, if there should be a proper intelligence gathering to avoid if they can take away the agency robbery and share this intelligence properly, I think the issue of an attack to innocent civilian will be things of the past. But if the security agencies they refuse to build a synergy within two of them, of the agencies, I think it is going to be disastrous. Because the problem we're having, most of the security agencies, there is an interrobbery between these agencies. Sometimes the secret police, that's the DSS, will give an intelligence gathering or share intelligence to action agencies. Then the action agencies will not act within the shortest period of time. Or sometimes the army will share an intelligence to Air Force, and Air Force will not also do the airstrike in time, and the bandit or the terrorists will run away. Maybe one of the informer informed them, then they change location. And when the jet fighter or the aircraft went to bombard them, they will be nowhere to be found. So this is part of the problem, and there is a lot of mistaking of airstrike. Many civilians have been killed in Sokoto, in Zamfara, in Nasarawa, and many parts of the northeast. So to avoid these things, there should be a proper collaboration and synergy between the security agents.
All right. Now let me take you back to.
And if you see what is happening in Katsina State,
okay,
it is very disastrous when the governor was going into peace dialogue with armed bandit. After going into peace dialogue with armed bandit, this armed bandit went and ransacked many villages and killed a lot of people and kidnapped them. So they are not sincere, they are not trustworthy. The most important thing for the government to go after them and clear them once and for all.
All right. And because you've also established that, yes, it's important for us to get foreign support. It's needed at this time, but we must not, rely totally on it. What steps should Nigeria take to strengthen its own capabilities alongside this foreign support?
Yeah, you see, we have to do everything humanly possible to encourage local manufacturing of these military arms and ammunition. There should be a proper budget for this DICOM. Defense Incorporation or something. I cannot call this. I think Defense Incorporation of Nigeria. So if there should be a proper budget and proper monitoring of the budget by the Fiscal Responsibility Commission to make sure that each and every kobo is properly utilized in the manufacture of this military equipment, and it will reduce the over-dependence on the foreign military intervention. Because when you allow the foreign countries to monopolize the market, then automatically the local industry will be grounded. And that's why you see during Obasanjo regime, he was able to ban importation of some textiles. But when there was a more over dependence in the importation of the textile, all the textile in Funtua textile, Kaduna textile, Kano textile, more than 1,000 textiles have grounded, and many industries have been grounded. So if we can do halfway, maybe 40% dependence on the foreign military intervention or military dependence on the military equipment. Then locally, we can now manage 60%. So this is the only way to do it. But anything out of that, then it is going to be a serious misplacement of priority. We should not depend on this foreign country to deal with our internal security, because this is something, if military are well equipped, are well staffed, well financed, well funded, well motivated, they can handle this issue squarely. And let me tell you, the issue of internal security lies squarely to the Nigerian police. But Nigerian police are under-equipped, under-financed, under-motivated, under-trained. If I can take you back to in the 1980s, during Shagari regime, mobile police are well-trained, well-funded, and any riot, internal riot, they take the charge of such situation. But now, where are they? They have been posted to some oil company and other places. It's no more functional.
All right, Dr.
And we have many
let me put you on
departments.
hold. We must take a break. But also, this conversation reminded me, while you were speaking, I remembered particular statements made by Major General Laka. I mean, he's talking to us about, and some Nigerians have said, this is him stating the obvious. It says, coup in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso have worsened security in Nigeria. We need to take a break at this point, and when we return, we'll talk more on that. Please stay with us, everyone.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Good morning, everyone. It's a new day. Veronica, where are you at this time?
I am here. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Hi, Olamide.
Hey, guys. I'm just at the rooftop, keeping my finger on the pulse and my eye on the street.
Hey, Toma, good morning. Hope you're up and ready for the show today.
Yeah, I just got to the office now. Have you contacted Abuja?
Hello, guys. We are set and right on our way to the studio.
And the guest is standing by.
Hi, Ria.
I'm almost ready. Just let me get my glam for the show.
Good morning, Ibrahim. What about the dailies?
I just grabbed the papers. I'm on my way.
Good morning, guys.
Right. Nobody knows how the day will go, but every day starts with breakfast.
Start your day right here on TVC Breakfast, every weekday from 7 a.m. only on TVC News.
This is Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you very much for staying with us. U.S. delivers military supplies to Nigerian security agencies. And I've been speaking with Dr. Abdullahi Sani Shinkafi, politician, executive director of Patriot for Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Dr. Shinkafi, thank you very much for staying with us. Quickly before I let you go, it's important for me to get your perspectives of something former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toko Burete, retired, had said. He reiterated, and this is him warning us, that this increasing deployment of the military for internal security duties across the country is weakening the capacity of the Nigeria Police Force and other sister agency, even as it provides short-term stability. First, do you agree with him? Second, if you do, talk to us about the long-term consequences of normalizing soldiers on the streets, and when should the military step back and the police fully take over?
Yeah, you see, if you look at the size of the number of police, we have at least 1 to 1.2 million policemen, but what any one of them is complaining is issue of this arms and ammunition. Let me refresh your memory. The Office of Accountant General reported to the Public Account, House Committee on Public Account, that some arms and ammunition, more than 1,700 rifles, including pistols, are missing in the armories of the police across the country. Last year, there was such a conversation on the floor of the House of Reps. So, and now, if you look at the size of arms and ammunition missing, cut across the police commands in the statistics, including FCT, is something worrisome and heartbreaking. So if the police are to be taking charge of this internal security, there should be a serious scrutiny of good, bad, and ugly officers, so that those bad and ugly will be expunged or to be taken out of the way, so that they will not impact the good one. So looking at also the porosity of the border, the issue of this counter-terrorism because of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic have pulled out from ECOWAS. So that national international task force is not there. Okay. So there is no intelligence and security sharing between these West African countries. These are our neighboring countries, because they are full out for ECOWAS. All right, then. So all the military cooperation between the Nigeria and these countries is nowhere to be found. And most of these terrorists,
thank you very much,
are coming through the land border because of the vulnerability of the border.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, one huge takeaway from this conversation is that, yes, the military supplies are good, foreign support is also good. We need them, but we must also fix our security internally. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Dr. Abdullahi Sani Shinkafi is a politician, executive director, Patriot for Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. On the second half of the program, we turn our focus to the future of leadership in Nigeria ahead of 2027. I'll be right back.
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
What I will never take is
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome back to the second half of the program Politics Tonight. We turn our focus to the future of leadership in Nigeria ahead of 2027 elections. The call for selfless and inclusive governance has never been louder, and the stakes for our nation's progress could not be higher. Joining us to explore this crucial topic ahead of another crucial election year is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Sam Cargo. Together, we're discussing what it really takes to lead a diverse nation like Nigeria towards unity, development, and lasting prosperity. SCM, thank you very much for joining me on the program. Good to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me this evening. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. Thank you very much. So as Nigeria looks forward to the next election, which is next year, the nation faces one critical question. Nigerians are asking, can our leaders rise above division and vested interest? Can our leaders rise above party differences? The APC, PDP, Labour Party, ZLP, NNPP, ADC, put national unity and the welfare of all Nigerians above ethnicity, religion, or region. So in practical terms, what does selfless and inclusive leadership look like in the Nigerian context?
Thank you very much. I think you've covered the field with much of the topics that you touched. I would start by saying, before answering your question, that leadership affects all of us and in every aspect of our lives. Good leadership is imperative for us to progress as individuals, as communities, and as a country. And luckily for us, we've had a long history of successive democratic governance from about 2000 and from 1999 to date. That's a long enough period for us to have evolved and generate a governance system that would answer your questions. I am hopeful, like if you ask whether the politicians would act in accordance with the aspiration of the people, I would say that's my own dream for them to do, because the world that we have today is not one that would tolerate indolent leadership or visionary leadership. Every day for today's leader, if he is indeed to play the catch-up, which is very necessary, should they want focus entirely on development and the enhancement of a national psychology that would be focused towards not just unity, but for collective development. We need that. It is imperative. It is necessary. And without that, our Somalia is just next door.
That's not what we want as a nation. As I'm asking you, when we say Nigeria needs leaders who are selfless and fair to everyone, what exactly are we talking about? And also, thinking about it, much of Nigeria's problem is this unity between tribes, religions, and regions. And when you look back, since independence, these divisions have created competition for political power, economic resources, even cultural recognition. That's why federal character is still a conversation today. People are talking about rotational presidency, and that comes up like every 4 years. Identity politics is a defining feature of our political landscape. Most times you also consider that much of these factors fuel conflicts and hinder what we call our collective progress. So in your view, why has this unity lasted so long?
Well, yes, we would get a selfless leader who would grow above his tribe, who would grow above his region, grow above his class, grow above his religion, to focus on a pan-Nigerian project. That's the selfless leader that we need. But coming back to your question, why we have this, you see, Nigeria was assembled from on top downwards. The various nationalities that make up Nigeria were never really involved in the creation of the state called Nigeria as we know it today. The British came, manipulated the pre-colonial communities, feasted on their own weaknesses and their own vulnerabilities, and created a state that we now know today as Nigeria. And in negotiating that state, they only dealt with the elite. They never really dealt with the nationalities that make up Nigeria. And what do you have? You have a tension between the state that has been created and the nationalities themselves. Because first, every Nigerian sees himself, first and foremost, he's as the nation that he belongs to. If he is Yoruba, he is rightly entitled to look at himself first as Yoruba, because Yoruba is real. It is not something esoteric or something imagined, but the state called Nigeria, it's an imaginary concept. So for you to have all of these energies diverted from those ethnic nationalities into the pan-Nigerian project, you must live above, you must be exemplary, you must be seen as one who can be trusted and indeed be trusted. And the only way you can be trusted is for you to be fair to every constituent. If you're a governor, you have to be fair to every part of the state. And if you're a president, you have to be fair to every community in the country. The length and breadth of Nigeria is looking at the center for direction. And that direction is key, because without that direction, you would say all of us will just be coasting on. And when we meet the storms, what happened? We recede. And that is what has been happening. We need that leader. We need the leader that would actually take decisions that are necessary, a courageous one as that, a leader who will not sleep over issues but take decisions. And I am hopeful that the president that we have will continue in the path he has actually been on, because he's been taking decisions that we feel they've long been waiting to be taken.
And because I do not want to, generalize, but it's also important for me to say that it's clear to everyone that many Nigerians, many politicians rather, prioritize staying in power over the nation's long-term interest. But all thanks to the Constitution, it would have been worse. In your view, SAN, how can Nigeria cultivate leaders who put the country above personal ambition? Is this more about changing the leaders themselves, or changing that system, or the system that rewards short-term gains?
I think we have to rehumanize ourselves, because the leaders are coming from us. And the cliche is that a leader is as good as the people from whom he is from. You get the leader that you deserve. Our value system have been corrupted, and that influence our governance system and the idols and the gods that we create. Leadership in Nigeria is facing so many challenges. Challenges first and foremost with the people themselves, the way they conceptualize or understand leadership to be. A majority of us believe that being a leader means you are going to take from the center to bring to us. When you don't, we say you have what? Disappointed us, or you've sold out. There is hardly anybody who does not really believe that a leader is a representative to go and take from the national cake and bring to their own end. But that's not the purpose of a leader. A leader is a general. A leader is indeed a leader, a direction captain, somebody to take you from one point to the other, and somebody who protects you, your shepherd, your protector, your lifesaver. That's the leader. It's not somebody who comes to what? Prioritize or play favorite games with you. Until we change that, until we see we put up higher standards for what we can take as acceptable minimum standard for public service, we may not be able to have the leader that will take us from where we are today. I can tell you for free that much of the problem is with us and is not actually from without. Yes, we can externalize this problem and blame it on the leader solely, but I can tell you, change the leaders by the day, all of them would be buoyed by what? This national malaise of what we
let's
as
stay on that,
individuals have as
SAN.
moral standards.
Let's stay on that, SAN, because, you know, the truth is, I mean, as a nation, I believe we cannot continue to lie to ourselves, because the truth is this country has struggled with corruption and misuse of public office for decades. Also, another truth which can, you know, coexist. The truth we've also told ourselves silently is that embezzlement of public funds, bribery, nepotism, and lack of accountability amongst our leaders, especially political leaders, even ordinary Nigerians, are issues that have undermined our economic developments. These factors or these challenges have weakened our institutions. They have also discouraged foreign investments and also erodes public trust in government. We have anti-corruption agencies, but enforcement is inconsistent. And another challenge is political interference. So you cannot totally blame them. How then do we reconcile, you know, the idea of selfless leadership with this reality of systemic corruption?
Well, you see, it is because we look at the mechanism for handling or curbing corruption from that vertical compass, which is to say the laws and their enforcement. But I can tell you for free, I think I've had the opportunity to write a lot on this, calling on people to say, even if we have the best of prosecutorial agencies or anti-corruption agencies that could beat the best in the world, we still have corruption because corruption is in our own DNA. Corruption here is corruption only when it does not what benefit us. It's not about not doing it, but who is doing it and who benefits. These are the issues. Until we ourselves, I'm emphasizing this, we rehumanize ourselves. We've come short of what the Bible will say, come short of the glory of God. This is the reality. The reality is corruption seems to be in our DNA. If you take away, clarify the entire society and take out corruption economy, this country may collapse overnight because many people, they believe that corruption is okay when it suits them. Look at them. Arrest a political office holder today who has what? Taken all the money meant for their roads, money meant for their schools, money meant for their health, money meant for their own security, and pockets it and lavish it to their own families and their cronies. You arrest him today, they will be the ones to be on the street to say, oh, leave him, it's our own. What would come in between? Narratives that what? Are protective of him and give it a slant as to say, he's not the only thief. What about the others? Others too are stealing. Why should you single him out? You find out that when that person perhaps is arrested and he's released, you see the whole community going back there, rolling drums for him. And this eggs them on until we have a situation whereby we know that your society will ostracize you, your family will ostracize you, your wife will not touch you with the longest spoon where he knows that what? You are living on what? Filth. But we don't have that. We've not been able to accede to such standard. And what do we have? We have people who are licentious, bandits in governance. You see people, they're ready to sell the nations using the cover of their offices. That is why banditry is still what? Festering. That is why terrorism is so difficult to curb, because what? You have connivers from within the governance system. And why that's so? Because they are benefiting and they are ready to sell the nation, and they've been selling the nation without blinking. Their communities know, that family know? You see somebody who was what? A pauper yesterday, somebody who was barely living. He becomes a minister. Tomorrow what? He's dealing in billions of nairas, if not in dollars. And nobody says anything. And he's given the red carpet. He's given what? The front seat in what do you call it? Public gatherings, and even in what? Churches. So how would you curb that?
All right, then, SAN. I mean, you know better than us. Yeah? I mean, I'm using myself as an example here. What role should, so 2 questions before I let you go. What role should the judiciary play in enforcing accountability amongst our leaders? And when you also flip the coin, what role should ordinary Nigerians play in fostering unity in a diverse country like ours? What message would you give ordinary Nigerians who feel powerless in the face of political and social disunity?
Of the two, the people can play a better role. The judiciary, if I will start with that, are helpless because what? They are not proactive. They would only sit in the courts waiting for you to bring your conflicts, waiting for you to bring your suspects. They cannot on their own sit in their chambers or in the open court to call on even the executive to do their job. It is only when you bring suspects before them and try them that they become active. The only message for them is that they should not, at that instant and at that stage, also be corrupted, because when they are corrupted, what do you have? They let this criminal go, and once one criminal is allowed to go on the basis of either technicality or because what? A judge or a justice have been corrupted, what do you have? You strengthen the arm of corruption. And for the people, I would say this, until we start ostracizing these people, dealing with them in a manner that we know they should be dealt with. Look at Korea. If you are a politician, you are down the pecking order of what? Social relevance. But if you are a farmer and a hard-working individual, you are more respected. Your children are more respected in school than the rich man out there.
All right, then. I mean, clearly, as the country approaches 2027, the call is clear. The country needs leaders who are selfless, inclusive, and committed to the common good. Thank you very much for speaking with me tonight. Political affairs analyst, lawyer, SAN, Mr. Sam Kabwe. Thank you so much for your time, and please have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
God bless you.
And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I am Olajumoke.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day, These are the news headlines to Pidgin.
Better country people, Ona, good evening.
Yoruba, Ekaro, Ekudede Asikoyi, Shidadalabayi, Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, suna na Rakia Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you. Faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It's a countdown to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like